Bronx Bombers open the week winners of 9 in a row. 3 straight sweeps to headline the top spot here on 5 on 5. 5 stories and recap, and 5 to watch out for. In the process, the Pinstripers seize the best record in baseball for the first time since September of 2019. Impressive. Following here in the 4th spot are the New York Mets. Equally impressive. The Amazons enter the week with the 2nd best record in baseball and the best in the National League. Yanks tops in the American League. Mets tops in the NL. Could we see a Subway Series in 2022? It may only be May, but we can dream, folks. Speaking of realizing dreams here in the Bronx, how about Fordham's Nick Zakelj? My Bronx Athlete of the Week honor goes to the Fordham offensive tackle. He goes 8th in the 6th round of the 2022 NFL Draft to the San Francisco 49ers, number 187 overall. He was an All-Patriot League selection at left tackle each of the last 4 seasons at Rose Hill here in the Bronx. The conference coaches voted him to their 2nd team in 2018. They voted him to the top squad in 2019 and for the 2021 spring and fall campaigns, of course, after COVID. He was also a team captain in 2021 for Fordham. Welcome to the NFL, Nick. Cheers to you. Cheers are also in order for a pair of NFL draft announcers. Fittingly coming in here at number 2, Sam Prince, a Make-A-Wish, New Jersey recipient from North Caldwell, announced the first pick and perhaps the most touching moment of the draft's first night last week. Sam was born with heart defects and had life-saving surgery when he was just 8 years old. Meantime, our friends of the show, DeSuze and Mero, announced the 43rd pick for the G-Men. BX in the building. And in the top spot, the Giants and Jets cash in during the NFL Draft. The Giants fill their 2 biggest needs in the first round in Las Vegas, taking edge rusher Kayvon Thibodeau of Oregon and tackle Evan Neal with the number 5 and number 7 overall picks, respectively. Here's more with the Giants.
New York is a place that I've traveled in the past year, maybe in the past 2 years. I've been to New York more times than any other place. And it's so random. It was just so random, but touching down, it was like, it's meant to be.
Not to be outdone, Gang Green had a dreamy first round. The Jets became the first team in the history of Scouts, Inc., which has been evaluating prospects for ESPN.com since 2004 to select not 1, not 2, but 3 players with grades of 92 or better on a scale of 100 in the same NFL draft. The team's first 3 picks, cornerback Ahmad Sauce Gardner, great nickname, wide receiver Garrett Wilson, defensive end Jermaine Johnson II. 3 elite prospects. That's a pretty good haul for the Jets, considering only 14 players in the draft received a 92 or better.
I feel like the biggest thing that we did was add quality depth, add quality players to this team, and obviously nothing's going to be handed to these guys. These guys are going to have to work for everything, but these guys have the right mindset and mentality to compete. Coach always talks about it, love of the game, consistent competitiveness, will to be great. I feel like all these guys bring that.
To the back end of 5 on 5 we go. In the top spot, Formula One is in sunny Miami this weekend. More on this story in my C-list. Stay tuned. In preparation for that, I absolutely loved what Team Red Bull did in previewing the big race, the 2nd American Grand Prix right here on the calendar in the U.S., and that's a little TV drama. We love drama here at BronxNet, with star driver Checo driving from New York to Miami. Yes, you heard me right. Red Bull actually staged this in the Big Apple and created an awesome short film. Checo goes from Manhattan right over the Manhattan Bridge, just miles away from the Bronx, on to Miami, as you can see here in this clip. To see the full short film, head on over to youtube.com. In the 2 spot, the Broadway Blue Shirts played their first 2 games of the postseason Tuesday and last night, opening up in Madison Square Garden against the Penguins. That series shifts to Pittsburgh for Game 3 Saturday. Puck drop is 7 p.m. Game 4 is Monday night. Meanwhile, on the baseball diamond, the Yankees are home to welcome Texas this weekend in the Bronx, while the Mets are in Philly to face the Phillies over the weekend, a road series for them. They come in here at number 3. With the calendar turning over to the month of May, that means that the Indy 500, the greatest spectacle in racing, is only weeks away on the Memorial Day weekend. Pato O'Ward won in Alabama over this past weekend and will be among 33 drivers vying for racing immortality later this month. Can't wait. Can't wait for the return of college basketball either here in the Bronx. In the fifth spot, albeit months away, Fordham men's basketball eyes the month of November for the start of their upcoming season, the first under new head coach Keith Urgo. Urgo was announced this past week as the replacement for Kyle Neptune and takes the reins of the school's 118-year-old program. Urgo brings over 20 years of coaching experience to the position and can build on the Neptune foundation this past season. He served as the associate head coach at Fordham under Neptune this past season. Here's what Coach had to say in the presser.
Mom and Dad, thank you for always instilling love and passion for anything that you do, love of family, and always understanding and teaching us that it's really all that matters, and being completely selfless. We talk about it all the time, how lucky we are to have had two people in our lives for this long. Just teach us what it means to just love and respect one another, and always live by the golden rule. Treat people the way you want to be treated, and everything's going to work out in the best.
And last, but certainly not least, and on this date in Bronx sports history to absolutely die for. This one has a real twist. May 6th, 1915 is the date. Did you know that Yankee great Babe Ruth smashed his first ever Major League home run on this day against the Bronx Bombers, while a member of the Boston Red Sox? When the Yankees arrived at the Polo Grounds to begin their first three-game set with the Sox in 1915, they had only a faint idea of what to expect from Boston's starting pitcher that day. As it turned out, there was another side of this young southpaw that the Yankees weren't prepared for, and that was his bat. It was on this date that Ruth hit his first of 714 Major League career home runs. Tabbed by the Sox to win the game with his arm that day, not his bat, the rookie hurler flashed the kind of power at the plate that would make him the most famous slugger in baseball history. The great Bambino collected 2 more hits that day and also pitched an astonishingly 12 1/3 innings and an eventual loss to the Bombers. While his best hitting days were yet to come, of course, the 20-year-old first became a pitching star, winning 18 games in 1915 for a Red Sox club that claimed the World Series title that year. And now we are off to the races for this C-list. Formula One's momentum in the U.S. right now feels absolutely unstoppable, with Sunday's Miami Grand Prix on Mother's Day, no less. The next big step forward in a country that for so long felt closed off to the sport. Last year's U.S. Grand Prix, which I covered right here on BronxNet, saw a record 400,000 fans and a carnival atmosphere unseen before at COTA in Austin, Texas. Miami has joined Austin on the F1 schedule. Next year, a third U.S. event, the Las Vegas Grand Prix, featuring the city's famous strip, will join in what could become one of F1's most iconic events. Take a closer look at the track in Miami ahead of the inaugural Grand Prix in 2022. The 3.363-mile circuit, officially called the Miami International Autodrome, features 19 corners. The race will be 57 laps. The circuit is a temporary track built especially for this F1 event. It uses a mix of existing interior roads within the ground of the Hard Rock Stadium in Miami, as well as new ones constructed around the parking lots and other surrounding areas. It uses one public road in Miami, 203rd Street, and that makes up the back straight that leads up to the turns 17, 18, and 19 in sequence. F1 is one of the fastest growing sports in the U.S. F1 estimates it has over 36 million fans in the U.S. right now. This year's Saudi Arabian Grand Prix was the most viewed F1 race in America on cable since 1995. With F1 set to have 3 American races in 2023, and with events in Canada, Mexico, and Brazil through the year, next season will feature the most races in recent history at time zones that suit a North American audience. Pretty cool fact there. We'll add a New York twist to this one this weekend as well. Hours before the NFL draft, Buffalo Bills star wide receiver Stephon Diggs tweeted this: "Why am I just now learning about F1?" with a facepalm emoji. Look out, America. F1 is here to stay. Must-see TV this weekend on Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day to all our moms. That's your look at sports. I'm Bobby C.